she wants a young American. It's all right, she wants a young American.
So I got into David Bowie when I was 13 years old. And all through my life, for 50 years now, all through my life, David Bowie's been a constant. From my very early age, when I was 13, growing up in a small mining village in Ayrshire, Scotland. The first time I saw David Bowie was when he performed on Top of the Pops. And unlike a lot of contemporaries of my era, Boy George, etc., it wasn't Starman. It was the Gene Genie that did it for me and changed my whole life. It changed all the way I thought, the way I dressed. And even from my glam rock period to my punk period, my mod period, my goth, my new romantic, David Bowie's always been a constant for that 50 years. So unfortunately, when he died, it was like losing a member of my family.
Understand. How many concerts have you seen?
Oh, that's a good question. I've probably seen maybe 6 or 7 concerts. The first time I saw him was in 1978, performing at the Glasgow Apollo. Unfortunately, I was a young hairdressing apprentice at the time, and he performed 4 nights at the Glasgow Apollo, and I could only afford to go the one night. And at the time, I've still got this ticket stub, and it was £4.50, and I could only afford the one evening.
And the last time you saw him?
The last time I saw him, he did a surprise concert at the Glasgow Barrowlands, which at the time was very small for him. It was almost a dress rehearsal for his Glastonbury concert, for his Glastonbury set. I was walking around Glasgow and there was a picture of David Bowie's back. I had nothing on it except it said, "He's back." And I thought, that's strange. So I phoned up the Glasgow Barrowlands and said, "Is David Bowie performing there?" He was doing a surprise concert. And he said, yes. And I managed to get 4 tickets. And it was a very small venue. At the time, David Bowie was mega, performing in stadiums all over the world. As I say, I think it was a dress rehearsal for his Glastonbury set. Yes, that was the last time I saw him.
Thank you, Renato.
Yeah. I was fortunate to meet David Bowie once.
What?
So, I was living in London at the time, and again, working as a hairdresser in London, and I'd been up to Scotland to visit my family. I got the night bus, which was about 9-10 hours, left at 12 o'clock from Glasgow and arrived in London at 7 o'clock the next morning. I worked all day without having any sleep. I got back to my flat, my apartment, and my friend phoned me up and he said, "Renato, you have to come to the theatre tonight." And I was like, "Why?" And he goes, "It's a surprise, I can't tell you." And I'm going, "Look, I've just got back from Scotland. I haven't slept. I need to get to my bed." And he goes, "No, you have to come to the theatre tonight." It was a small theatre in the East End of London called the Half Moon Theatre. And I goes, "Right, well, what is it?" And he goes, "Look, okay, I'll tell you. David Bowie's going to be at a play by Steven Berkoff." It was a play called Sink the Belgrano. And I goes, okay, so that night, went along to the theatre. I was standing in the bar. Everybody was going into the auditorium. I was standing there thinking, oh, David Bowie's not going to turn up. And next thing I looked round and David Bowie walks in on his own. He walks up to the bar, orders a glass of wine. He's drinking his wine. My friend's going, "You need to go and speak to him." And I thought, "I can't, he's having it." And he goes, "You need to go and speak to him." And I thought, okay, I'm never going to get a chance to speak to him again, so I really need to go. So as I was approaching David Bowie, the bell rang to go into the auditorium. So he put down his glass of wine. I went over, picked up the glass of wine, finished his wine, put the wine glass in my bag, and went into the auditorium. And he was sitting about 2 rows behind me. For the whole duration of the play, I sat like that and just looked at David Bowie. At the end of as soon as the play was finished, he left and I followed him out. And he went out into the street, waiting for his car to come and pick him up. At which point Steven Berkoff went out and said to him, "Why don't you come back in for a drink?" So he was standing with Steven Berkoff having a chat, and I thought, this is my chance. I need to go and speak to him. So I went over, shook hands, introduced myself. Stephen Berkoff wasn't very happy that I'm now interrupted their chat. But David Bowie was really nice. People say you shouldn't meet your hero, but I did, and he was lovely. He was really nice, and he gave me the time of day, which, yeah, it was really nice.
That is a great story. That's the best story I heard.
Oh, good. I could elaborate on it, but I won't. Yeah, so, yeah.
And did he give you an autograph or?
Funny enough, I was in searching in my bag that I didn't have a single bit of paper. The only bit of paper I had was my checkbook. This was back in this was 1983, before cards, etc. So I had my checkbook and asked him to sign it, but he wouldn't sign it. But I did get a piece of paper from the bar, and he gave me a signature. And Stephen Berkoff also signed his programme, which was for a play called Sink the Belgrano, back in 1983, I think it was, around about then, yeah. So yeah, it was lovely, it was really nice, yeah. I've been backstage at another David Bowie concert that I managed to get backstage. Unfortunately, he had left, but I met the rest of the band, which at the time was Tin Machine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I got to the after-show party as well. I managed to sneak into that as well. So, yeah, I've got a lot of Bowie stories over a 50-year period.
Yeah. You are a fan.
I have, but yeah, for 50 years, since I was 13. Yeah, I've followed his career. Yeah.
Great, Renato.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Let me check if it is on.
I don't know.